ASMR videos like these are incredibly popular, getting millions of views across the board. With Google's Veo 3 and n8n, automating videos like these so that you can post 1, 2, 3, or as many videos as you want every single day to TikTok and YouTube Shorts is incredibly easy. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can build an AI automation to automatically generate and post videos like these to your YouTube and TikTok and even Instagram accounts, and automate your way to potentially millions and millions of views. And if you're new here, my name is Shub and I build AI automations to help businesses and professionals save time and money. Here's a sample video that I just made. Let's go ahead and see how to set up this automation. If you like the template, just go ahead and leave a comment and I'll be more than happy to share it with you. And if you'd like to hire me to build automations for your business or your professional practice, just go ahead and book an appointment using the link in the description and we can talk. The first step in generating videos like these is to brainstorm ideas. Now, I went into Google Gemini and I uploaded a few of these highly viral videos, and I used Google Gemini to deconstruct what made these videos work, and I iterated over that prompt to create a master prompt, which you can use to automatically generate 10, 15 ideas for videos. And here is that prompt. Again, if you want the prompt, I'll be happy to share it with you if you go ahead and drop a comment. So let's go ahead and copy this and then drop it into Claude or any other AI of your choice, and it'll go ahead and generate the table. All right, perfect. So it's generating the table. And once Claude has generated everything, you can just go ahead and copy that table and drop it into a Google Sheet. And because of the prompt, your Google Sheet will have these headers. So what we're looking for is the concept, a scene consistency block, which means that each of these 3 clips will be set in pretty much the same background and the same setting, which is really important for engagement because the change won't be too drastic from one scene to another. And that's because of Google Veo 3's limitations, where we can only generate an 8-second video clip. So effectively, we're stringing together 1, 2, and 3 8-second clips to generate a 24-second video. Obviously, you don't have to stop at 24 seconds if you have the budget for it, and if you have the ideas for it, you can go up to 4 scenes, 5 scenes, or even 6 scenes, or even more for that matter. We also have some relatable text that we can use as a YouTube title and as a TikTok description, and we also have some hashtags as well. So this Google Sheet is going to form the basis for tracking and generating our videos. Now let's go into n8n and see how this is set up. So we're going to start with a manual trigger. And after the manual trigger, we're going to use a Google Sheets node. And with that Google Sheets node, we want to get rows. We want the document is the spreadsheet that we had created earlier, and the sheet is the default sheet on that document. And you want to set up a filter as well, where the status column, which is this one, is empty, right? There's no value in it, which means it's empty. And we only want to return the first matching row because we're going to be working with one video at a time. Next up, we want to create a folder in Google Drive. So make sure you have your credentials set up. The resource is a folder, the operation is create, and the folder name is going to be the ID generated in the spreadsheet over here. And you can just go ahead and drag that into here, dash, and the concept. So what this is going to do is create a folder in Google Drive to save each of the 3 clips. And this is really important because we don't want to lose access to any of those clips if anything goes wrong somewhere in between, because we're spending pretty good money to generate the videos. So in case there's an error, at least you still have access to whatever clips that you were able to generate, so you can reuse those for other videos. Next up, we need to share this folder. It's another so it's again a Google Drive node. This time the resource is folder, the operation is share. And for the folder, we want to select by ID, choose expression. So just go ahead and grab the ID from the earlier create folder node and drag it into here. Then you also need to add some permissions. So the role is writer and the type is anyone. And remember to make sure the file discovery is on, because we're going to need all of these settings in order to be able to access the files once we have generated all of the videos. Next up, you want an AI node. This time we're going to use the OpenAI message and model node, but you can really use any AI model that you want. I just happen to have a lot of credits left over with OpenAI, so I'm using that for now. In case you're wondering, it's OpenAI message a model. Let's see how this is set up. I'm using GPT-4o, which is fine for now. And here is the specialized prompt that I'm using. So this is the video prompt that we're going to use for VO3. And we actually need to generate 3 of these, right? So we're going to pass the background setup, which is from the Google Sheet node. It's the scene consistency block. We also want to pass in scene 1. Just go ahead and drop that here. Scene 2, go ahead and drop that here. And finally, scene 3, go ahead and drop that here. And we're also giving it a very specific output format. So scene 1, scene underscore 2, scene underscore 3. And essentially, the output is going to be the entire prompt as one object, the entire second prompt as the second object, and the entire third video prompt as the third object. And if we go ahead and see the output that I have over here, you'll see that I have scene 1, scene 2, and scene 3 all in the format that I have provided here. So these are our prompts all set up. Next up, since our prompts are currently all embedded inside the content object, we need to split these prompts out in order to work with them individually. So for that, we're going to use a split out node, and we're going to split out the content field. This one over here. Let's go ahead and drag it. So the split out node will turn this one object into 1, 2, and 3 separate objects, which we can see over here where we had 1 item coming in, and the split out node has turned that into 3 items going out. Next up, we're going to generate the video. Now to generate the video, I'm using a service called Kie.ai, which is this one over here. Kie.ai is a very affordable API wrapper for Google Veo 3 and indeed for a lot of other video generation models as well. Kie.ai supports Veo 3 Fast, which is almost Veo 3 quality, but for significantly cheaper. So the price per second with audio is just 5 cents per second, which totals 40 seconds for 1 8-second video. And since we're stitching together 3 8-second videos, you're looking at $1.20 for one high quality video. This is pretty economical when you think about it, especially when you consider that if you use another service like Replicate or Fal, you're going to end up spending $6 for a single video. So go ahead and sign up for Kie.ai, load up some credits. $5 should be fine for experimenting. You can go into your dashboard, go to billing, load up some credits, and then go ahead and grab your API key. If you don't have one, you can create an API key and then copy your API key and come back into n8n. So we're going to be using an HTTP request node. We'll do a post method, and the URL we're going to hit is api.kie.ai/api/v1/vo/generate. Remember to set up your authentication so you can save your credentials securely in n8n. Use generic credential type. We want to use a bearer auth, and go ahead and create your credentials. I'm going to click the pencil icon to show you how I have mine set up. So the bearer token is going to be where you paste in your API key and just give it a name so you can remember, and that is all set up. We also want to send a body, and the body will be sent using JSON. Let's go ahead and make this bigger so we can see what's going on. It's a fairly simple body request. We just have the prompt, which is what we got from the split out node. The model is VO3_fast, and make sure you're using this, otherwise you're going to end up spending a lot of money very quickly. And we also have the aspect ratio, which is 9:16, since we're generating YouTube short style videos. If you were generating landscape videos, then that would be 16:9. So what the generate video node will do is it'll receive 3 items from the split out node, which were the 3 prompts for 3 videos. and it's going to make 3 API requests to api.kie.ai, and that will set the video generation in process. Next up, I'm using a loop over items node because I want to grab each item individually and save it to Google Drive, and I also want to check the status for each item individually as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add a loop over items node, which you can find from here, loop over items. The first node from the loop is another HTTP request. This time it's going to go to the same URL as earlier, except it's going to be /record-info. Remember to choose the same authentication as before, generic credential, bearer auth, and Kie.ai. And we also need to send a query as well. And the query is going to be, once you enable this, you have to add a query. The name is task ID, and the value is the task ID that we received from the loop over items node, which is this one over here. Go ahead, we grab that and drag it here. So effectively, there are going to be 3 task IDs because we're generating 3 videos, but because we're looping over everything, it's going to work with one at a time, which is what we want. So hitting this URL will return the status of the video generation. You'll get the status from the success flag data point over here. Now with Kie.ai, if the success flag is 0, it means the video is still processing. If the success flag is 1, it means it's complete. And if it's 2 and 3, it means there is an error in the generation. So once it checks the status, we're going to go into a switch node, and that switch node is going to check the success flag and see. If the success flag is 0, it means that the video generation is still in progress. If it's 1, it means it's succeeded. And we also want to go ahead and add a fallback output, and remember to choose extra output as the fallback. And we've given names to these outputs as well. This one is in progress and this one is succeeded. So if the check status node returns a 1 for the success flag, that is going to enable the succeeded node over here, and the data will come down here. And then we're going to download that video using a simple HTTP request. Remember to make sure the method is get, and the URL is the result URL over here. So just go ahead and click, grab that and drop it here. And once that executes, it's going to download that video as a binary file over which you can see over here. Next up, we want to upload that file into Google Drive. Let's go ahead and open up this Google Drive node. The resource is a file. Operation is upload. The input data field name is data, which corresponds to this, and that's just going to be the default. You can leave it as it is, and you can keep the file name as scene underscore and this variable over here. Make sure you have expression selected. Now, $run index is which iteration of the loop it's in, and since there are going to be 3 iterations on the loop, run index can be 0, 1, and 2. We also need to select the folder. So the parent drive is going to be your drive, and the parent folder we want to select by ID, leave it its expression. And if you go to schema, you can scroll down and collapse the create folder node that we had made earlier. Grab the ID from there and drop it in here. So the folder we created earlier is the same folder that is going to house the files. Once the file is uploaded, the path goes back into the loop, which means the loop is completed 1 cycle successfully. Once the first iteration is done, it's going to iterate over the second item, repeat that process, iterate over the third item, repeat that process. And then once all 3 iterations had successfully completed, we're going to go up the done node. But before I show you that, let me go ahead and come back here for a second. So if we open up the switch node, you'll see that if the success flag is 0, which means the generation is still in progress, it's going to hit a wait node. And I set this to wait for 30 seconds. So it's going to wait for 30 seconds and then check the status again. And then depending on whatever the status is, it's going to go back into the switch node. And if it's still in progress, it's going to wait again. And if it's succeeded, it's going to go down this route, download the video, and upload the file. So once this loop has completed, we have now uploaded 3 files into Google Drive. And now it's time to assemble those files and stitch them together into one 24-second video. So since we looped over 3 times, the done node actually has 3 items in it, which are the 3 videos, right? So we want to aggregate those 3 items into a single object. So make sure that you have all item data into a single list selected. And when you execute that step, you'll see that we had data 0, data 1 and data 2. Perfect. Next up, we are going to search files and folders. So the resource is file/folder. The operation is search. We want to search for file/folder name and get that search query and search for that folder that we had just created. So the search query is going to be the concept that we had grabbed from that from the Google Sheet. Go ahead and drop that in here. And the folder is the parent folder where we are saving all of our files. So if we run this, we will get the ID of the folder that we had created and that houses our files. Next up, we want to search again. This time we want to search for files inside this folder, right? So keep the search query blank. We want to get all the files back. And just go ahead and grab this ID, drop it in here, and under what to search, you want to search for files. But once you execute this, you will get 3 file IDs. And these are your video files. So that again leaves us with 3 items. Then again, we aggregate. And we want to aggregate these into a single data object. And then we have a code node. And that code node is going to turn the ID into a Google download URL. And if we go ahead and drop this URL into our browser, that'll download the video file directly. So we'll get the download link and the corresponding scene as well. That code node will again leave us with 3 items. So we want to aggregate that again into a single object. And finally, we want to merge the video. So there's 2 ways to do this. I'm running n8n on DigitalOcean. So if you're running it on DigitalOcean or if you're running it on your local machine, you can use a software called FFmpeg. Now, installing FFmpeg is a little bit complicated. I will make another video on how to do that, but you can ask ChatGPT and it'll give you a fairly easy walkthrough that you can follow to install FFmpeg on your DigitalOcean or local machine n8n installation. If you're using n8n Cloud, then you will not be able to do this and you'll need to use the other solution, which is using Fal.ai. Now, Fal.ai has one API endpoint, which is actually based on FFmpeg. So compose videos from multiple media sources using the FFmpeg API. Basically, you just need to drop in all 3 of your videos. So if you go into API over here, click HTTP. So we need to drop in the URLs of all of our tracks over here and directly call the Fal.ai API. This is very cheap if you want to use it, but the only disadvantage with Fal is that you have to deposit a minimum of $10. So you can either use Fal or you can use FFmpeg as I do. Now I have FFmpeg installed, but instead of calling FFmpeg from the command line, there is actually a really neat n8n community node called Media Effects. With Media Effects, it's essentially a wrapper for FFmpeg, where I can simply drop the URLs for all of the files, and this node will download the URLs, run the FFmpeg command, and provide me with an output of a stitched together video. So this is pretty easy to do and pretty straightforward, and more importantly, it's free as well. Once the video is merged, we want to upload that video back to Google Drive to the same folder that we were working with earlier. And we're going to rename it as final_video.mp4. And as the last step, we want to update that same Google Sheet that we were working with. The column to match on is the concept, right? And you can find the concept again from the first node, the Google Sheet node. Just go ahead, grab it and drop that in here. And we want to update the Drive folder URL as well. So that's the create folder here. Go ahead and drop that. So go ahead and just grab that ID and drop it in here. And we want to mark the status as complete. So once this workflow completes in about 4 to 5 minutes, you will have generated a 24-second viral ASMR video. Now, the last step is to upload your video from n8n to your social media platforms. Now, there are 2 really good options to do this. The first one, and it's free, is upload-post.com. Uploadpost.com is an API to post on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, etc., etc. So if we go to the pricing, you'll see that for 10 uploads a month, it's free, which is excellent. The only disadvantage with the free plan is that you cannot upload to TikTok, but you can upload to all other social platforms. Then there are paid versions as well. And if you don't like using upload dash post, you can also use Blotato. Blotato is actually really powerful, and it's a lot more than simply uploading your content to social platforms. You can also it also has built-in image generation, video generation, voiceovers and captions, etc., etc. But even for the $29 a month, if you're just using it for uploading, it's still a lot of value for money, because for this amount, you can upload to 20 different social media accounts. So you can either use the Blotato API or you can use upload-post.com. So if we went ahead and let's go ahead and sign up for Upload Post. All right, excellent. I'm in the free account. So I need to connect a social media account. I'm going to go to Manage Users, add a user. So this is my experimental YouTube account. Add. Perfect. And I'm going to connect YouTube. So just go ahead and click on YouTube. Use our shared folder for now, but you can use Google Cloud and do it yourself. I'm just going to use connect using shared project, and make sure you're selecting the correct YouTube channel. Choose this one for now. Select all, continue. We have successfully connected YouTube to upload-post.com. Next up, let's go ahead and grab an API key, generate a new API key. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Perfect. And here is the request that we need to make to upload-post. So let's go ahead and add an HTTP request node. This time it's a post. Perfect. And we also need to add authentication. So let's give a generic authentication. Let's see what the authentication is. It is API key and the API key over here. So let's go back. Leave this at generic. We want to do header auth. Okay. Go ahead and create a new credential. Let's call this upload post. The name is going to be under name. We want API key over here. Copy. Paste. This is the URL that we need to hit. Go ahead and paste that in here. And the body content is going to be form-data. Well, that's what this -f means. So the first one is video. The value will be the web content link. Go ahead and drop that in there. Add another parameter, title. The title, drop that in here. The value is going to be the concept. Next up, we need to grab the user. So go ahead, copy, paste that in. And the user we can find by going to manage users and grab this profile that we had created. So copy, case that has the value. Let's go ahead and add another parameter. Go back here, going to the documentation, platform. And since we're only using YouTube for now, I'm just going to go ahead and drop in YouTube. And that is all of the parameters that we have. So there it is, all set up, and you can certainly add as many more platforms as you need, depending on where you're uploading. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a like, and do remember to subscribe to the channel for more AI and automation content.